Hi, I'm Carol Pate. We're doing a live broadcast tonight. We're going to be speaking about psychic children and their gifts and their traits, their characteristics. But the first thing I want to know is we have new sound equipment, and I want to know how the sound is doing. Anybody have any comments on the sound? We'd appreciate it. Hopefully it'll be better. No one?
We got three people.
We only got three people. Hi, three people.
I just lost the feed.
Can anyone hear sound? Just ask again.
Can everybody hear me? Do I come across loud and clear? I hope.
Sound is fine?
Yeah, 11, 20 people now, so.
Sound is fine.
Oh, great. Good. Yay. I wanted to talk about psychic children because there's not a lot known about why they are the way they are and what their traits are. But first I want to explain something. I have no motive or agenda here in the broadcast. The reason I'm doing the broadcast is because I'm trying to educate people and be as truthful as possible with people. And the information that I'm giving you is information from my personal experience, not out of books, but from my personal experience and what I've learned from my guides, the Holy Spirits. So other people's theories, I really don't participate in other people's theories or belief systems. So just understand that why I'm doing this is for the benefit of educating people in this area, because there's so much garbage out there, I'm sorry to say. So with that being said, psychic children. I was a psychic child, obviously. Psychic children, their traits are basically this. They have a tendency to bring home a lot of rocks, stones, crystals. They're very empathic to animals and nature. Very often we'll talk to animals and nature and get replies. They have dreams that come true. They're very, very sensitive to energies. If you have a family that fights a lot, they're going to have a lot of trouble with their stomachs, what they used to call a nervous stomach. That's right here, the solar plexus. That's where the stomach is. And negative energy makes for nausea and illness. And psychic children have a tendency towards that. But it's not because of, how can I put it? It's not because it's something physical. It is because of the energy, the negative energy, and their response to the negative energy. Psychic children also have a tendency to be older than their years at times. They will come up to their parents and give them information that is well beyond their years, and then turn back into being a little kid again. I remember I was counseling adults at the age of 7 with some of their problems, but it was like it wasn't me. It was like I was channeling information that was beyond me or older than me. Psychic children are also very empathetic to everything around them and pick up on everything around them. Now, not all psychic children are mediumistic. There is a difference. Children who are mediumistic will see spirits, and spirits will very often come to them or be drawn to them. Not all psychic children do that. Psychic doesn't mean medium. Medium doesn't mean necessarily psychic. There is a difference. What is a medium? A medium is, we're telephones. We're between this dimension and the next dimension. People who are lost and haven't made it into the light will gravitate to those that can see them, which are usually little children that do have mediumistic abilities. And they're wanting help, or they want to be seen, they want to be normalized. So they'll be drawn to that child, and that child will start talking about their invisible playmate. Of course, they're not invisible to the child. When I saw spirits, they weren't spirits, they were people, pure and simple. They were solid as any other person I ever saw. I couldn't tell the difference. I didn't know the difference. And these children don't know the difference either. What's really important for psychic children is that you listen to them and believe them. Don't make a big deal out of it, because that only will emphasize the need to prove to you how special they are, and they don't need to be doing that. You need to listen to them and help guide them and tell them that it's okay. It's not something that we talk about outside of the family, though. Now, the reason I say that is because children, and I didn't know, they need to have the guidance so that they don't talk to people about what they see, because other people will think they're really weird, and other kids will give them a really hard time. I was tormented through school, absolutely tormented. So you tell them, you can always come to me. I'm your parent. I care about you, or I'm your brother or your sister, and I care about you. And you can always talk to me about anything, but talk to me first before talking to other people about strange things that happen. Of course, there's another side to this. Sometimes it's not strange to the child. The weird things that happened to me, I didn't know were weird until after the fact. So get them to tell you what's going on a daily basis. It will help. It'll help the child. It'll help you. You'll go through a lot of growth through having a psychic child. Now, some of these children are also healers. My daughter was a healer. At the age of 10, I took her to a friend's house. Her mother had a tumor in her abdomen and was catatonic almost. I mean, she could eat, but it's like she wasn't quite here. And my daughter walked over to her, put her hands on the woman's abdomen. Her abdomen went down, and the woman jumped up and said, "Hallelujah," and went on to live for 10 more years. Scared the dickens out of me, because I just knew there were going to be lines of people coming to see my daughter who would heal them. It didn't happen. I had a talk with my daughter. I should have handled it a little better, though, because I think it scared her a little bit, too. So, and not all psychics do healing, and not all psychic children do healing, but it does sometimes come with the territory. Now, on the stones that children pick up, the psychic children bring home with them, those stones talk to them. It's like, pick me up, you need me. And so they pick up the stone and they take it home with them, and they keep them in their room. You might find, I had a lot of stones in my room. They were piled up in the corners and under my bed. I still do, by the way. But I've learned now that they do speak to me, and they tell me what they do and what they can do for me, healing-wise, emotionally, mentally, physically. It's really remarkable. These kids cannot be taken to places like battlegrounds. Battlegrounds are horrific, horrible. When I went to my first battleground, I smelled the blood, the gunpowder. I heard the screams, and then I saw it. It was overwhelming to me. To a child, I can't even fathom what would have happened to me had that occurred. But you want to keep children out of where traumatic things have happened, battles have happened. Don't go to Gettysburg, okay? Don't take your kids to Gettysburg. Not a good idea.
If they're psychic.
If you're psychic. Yeah, if they're not psychic, it's okay. And I know there's been all this stuff about rainbow children, which I really don't know very much about. Crystal children, I know a little about. Indigo children. I'm here to tell you they're labels. I had my DNA checked for my ancestry. I don't have any ET. Sorry. I'm a human. I got some Scottish, a little Irish in there, a little French, probably some Romanian, I don't know. But, and usually psychic abilities are hereditary. They run in families. Some families stronger. American Indian, very strong with the psychic abilities. And I think it's because it wasn't scoffed at. They used it for their own survival, and they used it as part of their religion and their well-being. We as a nation we've scoffed at it and tried to say that it was something that wasn't real, that psychic abilities weren't real, which is ridiculous because every human being has some psychic abilities. God gave us psychic abilities for our own survival. There are our system, our protective system, our security system that enable us to protect ourselves if we listen to it. And I've tried to teach you before in the past on the other broadcasts about the solar plexus. When your solar plexus hurt and grab like a knot, that means you're in danger. If you'll trust that, you'll stop and redirect whatever it is that you are going to do. If you meet someone and you get that clenching and that hurt, that means that person could be very dangerous to you physically and or emotionally or both. So you need to pay attention. When your child reacts with that knot, with that clench, you need to tell them to listen to that it's important for their safety. It's for their safety. And also for you as well. We all need to do that. What am I missing? I don't want to miss anything.
That gut feeling is what you're talking about.
Yeah, the gut feeling. Yeah. Your children, I recommend they've got guides. These are the Holy Spirits. There's no, how do I put it? There's no religion with that. It just is. There is God. Now, whatever man wants to do for religion is fine, but it's not a religious thing. You need to check. They need to check with their guides. Their guides will speak to the right or to the back or up like that. The dark side can speak to the left. If they're getting information from the left, you tell them to shut that down, to not listen to that. If they're getting it from the right, kind of over the top, they're safe. And they can trust that.
One of the questions that had been asked on a private message to you, which we didn't publish, was about psychics and God, the Bible. Does it talk about
Prophets. Basically. Well, there's no such thing as a psychic in the Bible. The word wasn't around then. Prophets were in the Bible. Sorcerers were in the Bible. But psychics and sorcerers are a whole different thing. A psychic got information from God about the future and a warning that people could choose to change if they wanted to accept that warning and make the changes or to prepare for one of the two. It's like Noah with the flood. He was a prophet in essence. So yes, that does happen. And no, psychics are not frowned upon by God or the Bible. Although we're frowned upon by religions, some. Mine, Baptist. Both grandfathers, Baptist ministers, didn't work well.
Do you want some questions?
Yeah.
We've got a couple. Okay. One of the ladies says that she believes her son's may have abilities. He sees shadow people.
Shadow
He's
people.
seen them his entire life.
Yes, shadow people. I saw them too.
Would that be more mediumistic or more psychic?
More mediumistic. And shadow people are usually spirits. There's another aspect to this. the more gifted your child is, the more apt that they could suffer from night terrors and attacks from the dark side. Sorry. It does go with the territory. Now, I don't like to get into religion, but I am a church. And I have learned through my personal experiences, not through church, but through my personal experiences through God and with the dark side, that the only way you can stop these from happening is to command them to stop in the name of Jesus Christ. Period. Okay? So it's important to start teaching your child that. I don't care what your belief system is. It works. And what you want is what works. Not something that's going to go against your personal belief system, but what, honest to God, works. I went under attack from the demonic before I actually understood what the demonic was. I was walking through an area where there was a house that had been torn down, a very old Victorian house. And I got hit with something that made like a rock in my solar plexus. And I got a fever of 105. And I went under attack mentally and physically. And I asked my guides what it was. They said it was demonic. And I said, what do I do about this? How do I stop this? They said, you have to command it to stop in the name of Jesus Christ, and you may do it 3 times. So I did, and my fever went completely away. I felt it leave, and I did it 3 times. And I felt a huge relief. And I said, really? That's what stops the demonic? And they said, yes. If you will call into the effect the authority of Jesus Christ, it will stop the attack. And it does.
And what would be the purpose, as far as the dark side was concerned, for attacking
Me?
sensitive children?
And you need to repeat that. They're having trouble hearing me, and I'm sure
Oh,
Steve too.
that's a change.
You got the mic right by you, so
Hey. Okay. I started getting attacked from the time I was about 4 years old from the dark side. If you're gifted so you can help other people. You have a mission. There's something you're supposed to do to help others.
A gift from God.
It's a gift from God. Satan doesn't give gifts. He can only twist them. That's all. When I was a little kid, this voice from the left would tell me to take a big old butcher knife, put it into the ground with the blade pointing upward, and throw myself on it. And then they would say, take your daddy's razor blade and cut your wrist. And they say, you're a daughter of Satan. You belong to Satan. There are great works for you to do. And they started trying to teach me stuff. A lot of these kids get pulled into witchcraft, okay? Because they know they have these gifts, and other kids are usually calling them a witch anyway. I know they did me. They kept calling me a witch, and I was going like, I'm a Baptist, I'm not a witch. And they'd say, no, you're a witch. You know stuff. That's what witches do. I didn't know what a witch was, so I looked up a witch. And I found witchcraft. And I got an urging to get into witchcraft. I didn't. My guides were there. They told me not to do that. They say you bind in witchcraft. You bind everything away from God to you and can make it fall. So I didn't do that. I played just a little bit with it, enough to know that it was dangerous. Just one time, well, okay, 3. Well, you don't know until you know. There was this guy. He needled me. It was in high school, junior high school. He needled me constantly. Kept calling me a witch. Just constantly would not leave me alone. And they had just taught me how to do a curse. a verbal curse. I did it. I said, all right, I'm a witch. Okay. So I threw the curse at him. A week later, he came back in to see me, and he apologized to me and begged me to take the curse off of him. He'd been thrown out of the house that night. His girlfriend dumped him. He had a car trouble. Everything in the world went wrong for him. I went, oh my God.
It's real.
It's for real. So I stopped it. Of course, I took the curse off of him, did what I apologized to him. I really did. I felt terrible. Never, ever, ever, ever did that again. Ever. It's horrible. Horrible thing to do to anyone. I didn't think it would work.
But you were taught by the dark side how
Yes.
to cast the spell.
And
the curse.
they showed me a little thing to do on his desk that I did, and it worked.
There's something you can do now that's on your website. Tell about it.
Yeah, I know how to remove now curses and spells and
anyone can
conjurations,
do it.
and anyone can do it. And it's on my website. So be appraised. This I've learned over the years.
Okay.
But your children will be pursued by the dark side, and it won't really hit until the age of 13. But you need to talk to them. My daughter, she had a voice tell her to swallow a marble when she was 2 years old. So she did. And we were able to save her from it. But they will pursue your children. Those night terrors are rough. Now, there's another thing that can be done. I don't think it's on my website. I'm not sure. The white tiger.
We put that on Facebook.
We did
just
put it on.
did,
Okay.
yes.
Go to Facebook. You can call through the Legion of Pan for a white tiger to be assigned to your child to protect your child from night terrors and nightmares, and they will do it.
It was a past post a couple months ago, so if you look down through the page, you can see them. You
Okay.
can find it.
Okay. So that does help. And there's also, I remember as a child, I'd go through this where I was like, couldn't move, would wake up and couldn't move. And that happens. And if you'll think in your mind, I command you to stop in the name of Jesus Christ, that'll let go of too. Or if you can say it.
The white tiger lasts for 1 year. You have to do it every
You have to do
year.
it every year. You have to renew it.
I'm trying to speak louder so they can help
Yes,
you with the question.
I know.
How do you help your child when she always is feeling others and gets so emotional and can't explain why this is happening?
Because she doesn't have a clue as to why it's happening. That's why you're going to have to explain to her that she is picking up the emotional energy of those people.
She's a sensitive.
She's a sensitive. Cornelian bracelet. She needs a cornelian bracelet on the left arm because that will help her to not do that.
If she's right-handed.
Yeah, if she's right-handed. Otherwise, it gets reversed.
My son told me the shadow people are talking all night and keep waking him up. He told me they were speaking in Latin.
Oh, those are dark side.
He was 9. The school didn't understand why he wasn't sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Grades suffered. He is now 17 and won't speak of what he saw and says it gives them energy when we talk about them.
He's right. If you just talk about them, you don't know what to do about them. It does give them power. I would imagine that some of them were hooded. Those are the demonic. The shadow people can be the demonic as well. And they will do that. They will talk and talk and talk and try to keep you up. They're tormentors. You have to ask the Band of Mercy to... Let me go back to the lifting. It would be wise to teach the children, and the mother needs to be doing this. Mother and father should be doing this. Should be doing the lifting on a regular basis. That will protect the child, our children. They can command the shadow people away in the name of Jesus Christ. That will work. Also, wearing a silver cross is protection. Sterling silver cross. Yes, thank you. Yeah, real silver. Okay, that will protect.
It needs to be stamped 925.
Stamp 925. Yes, you don't want anything else. Sterling silver. If they're under attack from the dark side, a pentagram will help. What size? It makes no difference. It can be a small. I have some this big, all the way to larger. That's a 5-pointed star in a circle. I think you've got, that's not a pentagram, is it?
I've got them all.
Oh, you've got them all. I've trained them well. We've got the cross, the pentagram,
You can take it off if you need to.
and the Shaddai. I probably can't even hardly see that.
It's tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny, but it works. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Unfortunately, they try to sidetrack these kids into drugs and alcohol to quiet the voices, and it doesn't. It makes it worse. So you've got to be upfront and unafraid to talk to your children about this. Keep it within the family as much as you can. I wish that it were worldwide. That's why I'm giving out this information. But I know how people are. I know how, especially about this subject. So,
children who see spirits aren't necessarily psychic. They could be medium.
They can be totally medium. Yeah.
You want to explain
I did.
again? Okay.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Yeah, psychics and mediums are two different. They can be one and the same. I have mediumship abilities as well as psychic, but not all psychics have mediumships, and not all mediums have psychic abilities.
So a question is, would those children who are just mediums and not psychics be bringing home the stones and the rocks?
Yes.
They still will.
Yeah, they'll still do that.
Okay.
Because they have that sensitivity as mediums. They'll have that sensitivity to the intelligence and everything around them. And that's what it is. It's everything around, when I was growing up, everything around me was intelligent, and I could feel it, and I knew it. So I talked to trees, I talked to animals, I talked to all sorts of things and get answers. It was very strange. And my guides had me in training the whole time that I was growing up and explaining things to me when I would ask the question. And the best thing you can do is get your child to ask the guides, the Holy Spirits, their questions, because they can better train them that way.
You were talking about the daily lifting. It's both on your Facebook page and on your website. They can find it at either place.
Yes, carolpate.com.
And when they're under 12 years old, the parent needs to be?
Under the age of 12, the parent has authority to do it for the child. Over the age of 13, or at the age of 13, you have to have the child's consent, and it is the child's responsibility. It's their spiritual responsibility from that age on. And at the age of 13, that's when the dark side hits full force. Always. It's age 13, 14. Of course, and that's when they try so desperately to get these kids to commit suicide. A lot of suicide. Because, see, if you commit suicide, you break spiritual law by committing self-murder, which automatically binds you from going to the light. And the dark side can use you. It's very dangerous.
Children, teenagers, and adults who are bipolar, is this caused by the demonic?
No. Sorry, it is an actual chemical problem within the body itself, and it is hereditary, unfortunately.
There is a stone on your website.
Yeah.
That can help some of the symptoms, correct?
Yes, there's some, yes. Which one was that? I can't remember.
I can look it up in just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Too many.
Yes, there are. What is happening when, as a child, they constantly stare into space? Also, having a spirit in the house to interact and appear.
Well, most children that are psychically or particularly mediumistic, they get drawn to haunted houses. It's really weird. The parents get drawn to haunted areas. And I think it's for the training of the child to some extent. I really do. I think everything happens for a reason. I don't think anything happens just because it happens. I wasn't raised in a haunted house, but it was haunted land. And there was a lot of things that took place around me where I lived. Later, when I got older, I found myself moving into haunted places because I would be drawn to them. I felt that welcoming sensation of, this is where you need to be, which was true.
Azurite.
Azurite, that's it. Yeah, that's a pretty stone too. Green and blue matches me. So, anyway, you will find that you will be drawn to taking your child to places maybe they shouldn't. Oh, good point. Museums and antique stores can be very interesting for psychic children because they'll pick up on the energies of those things that are there and may pick up scenes in their head of past experiences. I worked with our state historian, and he took me all over the state, and I worked with museum pieces, and I gave him the historical background of many of those things. That proved out to be accurate. And for a psychic child, museums are fabulous. I loved them. I love museums because it was like I could go in and out of time, like time travel, which is really, really cool. And touching into those things was even better because I could do that time travel because I'd go back in time to when it actually was. So it's a lot of fun for kids as long as they can do it safely and with the dark side can't do them any kind of harm.
Okay, are you finished on that subject? Okay. What does it mean to see signs of a particular person all the time? Reminders, etc. Is that the universe that sends these, and where does it come from energetically?
Interestingly enough, when I was pregnant, every commercial I ever saw on TV was about pregnancy. What I find is that if that person is on your mind or you're obsessed even a little bit, you will find signs of that person everywhere because that's what you're going to be looking for. So be aware that can be your mind pulling tricks on you. If you are supposed to be with that person, you'll be with that person. If you're not supposed to be with that person, there's nothing you can do about it. It's not where you're supposed to be.
Someone asked if you would please hold your necklace up, they were wanting to see it better, and explain what it is.
That's a labradorite. I love my labradorite. When worn on the heart chakra, it gives you positive aggressiveness, which I think is awesome. It allows you to say the word no and mean it, which I think is really cool. I used to have a real hard time with the word no.
It's a hard word.
Well, I talked to a lady today. She said when you say the word no, it hardens your heart. I said, no, when you say the word no, it frees you. It's the most freeing word I've ever learned in my entire life. I love it. So no. But no, labradorites, I sell them here. They're hard to come by, I'm telling you. And I'm not pushing my product, but they are gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous.
Is that a
It's-
labradorite ring?
Some people
Yeah,
do not need them.
These are labradorites as well. Yeah, you don't need one. There are some people that cannot wear labradorite. It will burn them. It will hurt them. There was one lady, I had gotten to be friends with this woman in New York. She was the one that sold me the labradorites. And there was a producer, director, female, that came into her shop, fell in love with the labradorite. Of course, they're gorgeous. And put it around her neck, and it exploded. People that have very dominant personalities cannot wear labradorite.
And you won't let me try one of yours on.
No, you'll hurt it. You're not allowed to hurt my labradorite.
They hurt me.
But I found the bluer the stone, the stronger it is for that purpose, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting. This is kind of a statement, but I want you to respond to it.
Okay.
Okay. Some people believe psychics and mediums are very special, caring people. But in reality, some can be really mean, evil people.
It's a talent. It's not a trait of character.
That's a very good way to put it.
We're going to need to take a just quick second pause. We have to plug in some power cord, and it will unhook the audio temporarily. Give us
Okay.
25 seconds, please.
Continue on.
Yeah. Okay, now plug that in down
As
there.
you are.
We're doing
Plug
more
that back
audio
in there.
stuff, guys.
That's, oh, no, we
Yep,
need to.
try
this
that
is
one.
gonna go
Now,
slower.
ask them if they can hear her now.
Can everyone still hear Carol? Oh, I see a little flutter here. Let's see. You're okay now. I'm just a little bit behind it.
Okay.
Can everyone hear okay?
I'm not seeing any.
Ask if everyone can hear okay.
Can everybody hear okay now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Oh,
good
good.
deal.
Cool.
We're good to go.
Good.
Hey, we're winning.
Hi, Carol. A pentagram on each palm of the hand made by the lines. Does this mean protection?
Never heard of such a thing except a werewolf. Sorry. Well, it depends upon whether the star is up or down, and I'm not sure what up or down is on the palm of the hand. I don't see any on yours.
No, I don't have any. I'm just. I don't know.
I don't know which would be up and which would be down.
What are we looking for now?
Pentagrams?
Pentagrams. Oh.
I don't have any.
Okay. The lady that was talking about her son seeing the shadow people.
Yes.
Okay. She said he hasn't seen them in a while, but she has photos of balls of light around him while he sleeps.
Yeah, that happens.
I asked the light who it was, and it came right over to my camera when my son was sleeping. Another orb dropped right into him.
Yeah.
My son says he remembers. My son says he remembers picking me and watching me before he was born.
That happens too, yes. A lot of these children will have past life memory as well.
So, do you want to explain what the little balls of light are and why they're there?
Well, it's hard to explain because they think that they're people and they're not. What I found with a lot of the orbs, and there are different kinds of orbs, but some of the orbs are nature spirits, okay? And they will stay around a psychic child and kind of hang around, I think, protectively. Some are like bugs.
Some of them eat bad energy.
And they take away bad energy. You know, they get rid of bad energy. They eat it up. So the orbs are not bad. Although I have heard of black orbs recently. I've never heard of it before, but recently I have been from other people. And I've been noticing that a lot of people that have security cameras on the outside of their houses are getting some really strange stuff on there. They're getting a lot of orbs, a lot of like what they call rods, and strange stuff, black energy, white energy. But see, that's been going on forever. Not the black orb so much, but the
They're
other.
just catching it on, like I did.
'Cause you can't see it.
I caught white orbs around, or nature spirits around my mother who has dementia,
Right.
all around her room, protecting her.
Yeah.
How can you call your spirit guide or guides? How do you talk to them?
I just say guides.
Would you explain again in case we have someone new that exactly what they are?
Your guides are the Holy Spirits. They're not human. They're not some master out there. They're not ET, although I've had a couple of children that did have ET guides that turned out to be ET. But that was interesting. But you have the Holy Spirit, and they are with you, and they are direct from God, and they have all knowledge that God has, universal knowledge, and they can help to teach you and guide you with anything, but they will not ever make a decision for you, ever, which I don't like.
They can help with many different things.
They can help with a lot of different things, and what they aren't knowledgeable about, meaning earth, material, place, world. They can call into effect someone who has mastered, let's say, mechanics, painting, whatever it happens, cooking,
Plumbing,
plumbing, whatever. Yeah, and they can help you.
commenting on your necklace, lovely.
Thank you.
And how about the protection necklace, which it was actually the bracelet that you were talking about, referenced earlier today?
Yeah, this is cornelian. And it has to be bead to bead. You can't have anything else except for the cornelian.
Yours is really large.
Yeah, it's really large.
You need extra, and that's a different.
Yeah, these are also cornelian. They're not as dark and they're not as large. And I have them in both sizes. Kat actually makes them for me, thank God.
I'm not quite sure what she's referencing. What? Why would it hurt you? I'm not sure when that question.
On this, the reason is because it gives you positive aggressiveness. So it is putting out an energy of positive aggressiveness, and when somebody's already positively aggressive, that energy will actually physically burn them. Can actually burn them.
Yes, it can.
And hurt them. And if I'm wearing this and I'm in an aggressive state of mind for whatever reason, I have to take it off because it feels heavy and hot against my skin. So I have to take it off. Good question.
Most people are able to hear you. One couldn't. Okay.
Doing my best there.
Althea says she knows people who get dizzy wearing labradorites.
Really? I've not heard that before.
You can talk to her about it.
I'll talk to you about it, Althea. I don't know. I've not heard that one before. Interesting.
Okay, I'm zipping on down here. I know you spoke of guides helping, but is there anything I can do? Because being open to her to help if she is feeling multiple people at once. She's talking about her child.
Okay.
What can she do as a parent to help her child when she's feeling like there's all these different people in her or around her?
She needs to go ahead and do the lifting to show the child that she can remove, that they can be removed, and that there's safety there, and that the child can begin to work with the Band of Mercy and understand that the Band of Mercy is there for the purpose of that child's safety.
So if they're under 12, the mother needs to do it for them. If they're over 12, she needs to tell them to do the lifting.
Yes, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to do it together. I have, like Lee and her granddaughter, they do the lifting together on a daily basis, every day. And it works really well because the child is very sensitive and is tending to be mediumistic. So she saw a little girl in the house, and they did a lifting together, and that got the little girl redeemed back to God. And that gives the child authority in their life. That they're not a victim of this, that they can actually use it for the betterment of other people, that there's a reason for the gift, and it gives them a sense of comfort, and like they're reassured that they're going to be okay.
It'll make the children less afraid.
Yeah, it takes away the fear.
Now they can hear me and can't hear you.
Wonderful.
It's a plug-in technical problem. We'll have to address it next time, so just project the best you can.
Okay. Am I better? Am I loud?
As loud as it's going to get for now.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
It's not your fault. It's our fault. It's okay.
I didn't take it as
It's
mine.
still going down.
We're working on it.
Right. We got a little bit of battery power. Something's going on, so
Oh,
we'll
battery
probably
power
need
is
we'll
going
probably
down?
need to we'll probably need to cut off right at 9.
Okay.
It's 4:47.
We've got about 15 minutes left.
Okay. We've got battery problems.
Um,
We're so professional.
We're a work in progress.
I've done that all my life.
Me too.
Okay. I am so glad you're back. I have a question. One particular person, let's see, a smell that was, I'm sorry, it just flipped up to the next question. Okay.
There was a particular, that emanated a bad smell and could not stand to be around him.
He had a pleasant personality, but I later had a frightening experience with him. Can our smell, sense of smell, detect evil?
Yes.
Thank you.
I've had the demonic project smells of sulfur, rotting bodies, earth, like grave smells. And I've been assaulted with that in the past when I went under demonic attack. And being psychic, I get psychic smells, and I can't smell. I lost my sense of smell, but I can smell psychically. It's really weird. Perfumes that are coming from spirits. I can smell death, which has an ozone smell to it. So yeah, children and like spirits have certain smells like cigarette or cigars or pipes, or maybe they were really into bacon. You know, they'll carry those smells, and children may have that, or you as adults may have that. You just don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, here's someone that doesn't agree with you, but I'm going to read it anyway.
Sure.
Okay. I don't believe in chemical imbalance before spiritual or emotional unbalance due to suffering. He's talking about bipolar. Bipolar or anything else. I think the chemical imbalance is a consequence, not a primary cause. But a psychiatrist would argue for hours against this, especially the older ones.
Oh well. That's fine. But I've taken people that have been bipolar, and they have been enhanced. Their bipolar has been enhanced by spirits being attached to them. I will say that. And they have been enhanced through their psychic abilities, those that were psychically inclined. But it hasn't gone away. Okay? I asked my guides about it, and they said there's various reasons for different medical or mental problems. Multiple personality is spirit attachment. I'm sorry. I've had that proven to me.
That one's not mental. That one is
spiritual.
Spiritual.
It's spirit, yeah. I've been able to help sociopaths by getting them cleansed in the light, taking their souls and cleansing them in the light, and they've come back okay. It's been really wild. If there's an attachment to you that had extreme mental imbalance, you will have mental imbalance. So there's variations all across. You can't say it's one thing or it's another, because there's all sorts of other things that come into play with this. So you disagree with me, but I agree with you and disagree with you. So there.
a lady says thank you for being on tonight. You're a light in her week. She had a very negative experience. She lost her mother-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
And wants to know, she's feeling really depressed, and she said, you inspire me. Are there any healing stones that she could use to help?
Jade, real good jade. Jade helps to heal the heart of those, especially when you're going through a separation or a loss of a loved one. Jade is very, very good, especially worn on the heart chakra. That's very, very helpful in that. Bleeding Heart, which is a flower essence. It's put out by FES. You should be able to find it in local pharmacies. It really helps to heal the heart as well. You want to take 4 drops 4 times a day, and you can take it in however way you want to take it, in whatever segment you want to do it, and that helps. I
Blue
use that
Goldstone.
Yeah, I use that with my husband's death.
Blue Goldstone's another one, another stone you can use. Blue Goldstone.
Blue Goldstone, though that's for
Depression.
That's for deep depression. Yeah, if you have the deep depression, Blue Goldstone will help.
Which can come along with grief.
Yes, but the jade actually works better with the grief.
Okay. Okay, what happens when you die with secrets and mysteries unsolved?
Oh, that happens a lot. Ooh, that happens a lot. It depends upon the soul. If they are earthbound, they may get very aggressive dealing with trying to hide their secrets, dealing with hauntings, which I find to be the case in some situations. If they've gone into the light, more than likely they don't care anymore. Because what's done here, they recognize that this is basically an illusion anyway. And it doesn't matter when they're in the light. But if they're not in the light, they can get aggressive. Or they want to show the people the truth.
My son sees people that are white, and they are children and adults. They appear very white to him.
Okay.
He says that they talk to him in his thoughts. He sees them in the daylight. They're not scary at all. He's now 13, and he has been seeing them since he was 5.
Okay. Then I would not be concerned about it. It sounds positive
would
to
be
me.
spirits.
Could well be spirits. Yeah, it doesn't sound. Could be angelics. They can appear as children all the way into as adults.
If you see them as white, that sounds pretty angelic, I would guess.
Yeah.
Here's a very good question. I don't get to see my grandson. His mother is an addict. Can I still do a lifting for him after he turns 12?
She can do the lifting on him until the age of 13. Precisely the age of 13. Then she can ask his permission.
If she gets to see him.
If she gets to see him, yes. But yes, she can. She's blood. She cares.
Okay. She said it was a sulfur smell. The one that was smelling.
Demonic.
Yeah, and sweaty, salty smell.
Yeah, that usually is of someone, that's a soul smell of someone. I know that sounds weird, but, you know, when you don't wear any perfume, you haven't showered for a few days, you have that salty smell.
Sweaty, salty,
yeah. That's a soul smell. And this is usually a soul that's not happy and usually semi-negative.
Okay.
I've had women that, and men too, when they've separated through divorce or in the process, their spouse will come to them on a soul level and they smell that body smell.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lady just watched you yesterday on Psychic Investigator.
Ah, okay.
The serial killer in Memphis.